From the 1011 Now streaming studio, this is The Night Beat.
Sponsored by Pella Windows and Doors of Lincoln.
Good evening, I'm Jessica Blum with your headlines for Wednesday, December 3rd. We first turn tonight to new details from a chaotic scene at an Omaha gas station Wednesday afternoon. 2 Omaha police officers were shot and a third was hit by shrapnel after shooting at a Quick Trip in South Omaha. The suspect is dead. Here's a look at the scene this afternoon. In the latest update from Omaha police, we learned the officer injured by shrapnel has been released from the hospital. The other 2 who were shot are said to be in good spirits and have non-life-threatening injuries, so a very positive update there. But let's go back to how this all started. Wednesday around noon, police were called to a grocery store called Phil's Foodway near 30th and Ames. A 61-year-old man had been shot in the chest several times. We've since learned he's in serious but non-life-threatening condition. Police with the gang unit got a license plate for the suspect and saw the vehicle at a Quick Trip. The suspect went into the bathroom and they followed him inside. That's when the shooting started. We're still waiting to learn the motivation behind the initial shooting at the grocery store and the identities of everyone involved. Back here in Lincoln, an update for you tonight on the case of a Lincoln teen convicted of manslaughter after shooting and killing his brother last Christmas Eve. Wednesday afternoon, a judge sentenced 17-year-old Kentrail McDaniel to 60 months of probation. That killing happened outside of a North Lincoln apartment complex just days after McDaniel told police he had been attacked. He also told officers he didn't realize the man he shot at was his brother. His attorney called the entire incident a, quote, terrible mistake, with the judge saying she has no doubt that McDaniel has remorse over the killing. Kentrail's attorney also told the court it was the first manslaughter case he's seen where prosecutors didn't argue against probation. Here's what McDaniel's mother had to say to us after the sentence was handed down.
I'm just happy for Kentrail. He gets a chance to get a relief because it's been something that's been weighing on him that he has to live with for the rest of his life as well as all of us, but he really do because him and his brother were so close.
Ultimately, Judge Susan Strong gave Kentrail probation for the next 5 years with a number of conditions, including that he attend therapy, weekly social support, and not consume any alcohol or controlled substances. His family breathing a sigh of relief, saying they're going to keep supporting him down the right path, including his full scholarship to Mississippi State University. And the fight to legalize medical marijuana continues in Nebraska, with the state's highest court hearing arguments about the validity of signatures on 2 ballot measures last fall. It's a more than year-old case, the state arguing there were fraudulent signatures on a medical marijuana petition to the Supreme Court Wednesday. Keene v. Evnen challenges whether or not Nebraskans for medical marijuana had enough valid signatures to even be on the ballot.
The mass invalidation of petition signatures is inconsistent with the high value that this court places on the initiative right. It is inconsistent with the Election Act, which facilitates, not undermines, the initiative process, and it is inconsistent with common sense.
Attorneys for the state saying Wednesday because several hundred signatures were found to be fraudulent, something the petitioners didn't deny, then the credibility of those collecting signatures is shot, and that Nebraskans for medical marijuana should have to again prove the already validated signatures are in fact valid. If the court rules in the state's favor, it could invalidate tens of thousands of signatures, putting the initiatives well below the constitutional threshold to be on the ballot and upending the work done to get medical marijuana in the hands of patients. It was an unusual sight on UNL's city campus Wednesday, a New Orleans-style jazz funeral march for departments at UNL that are on the chopping block as the university stares down a more than $27 million budget gap. Faculty from departments affected by the cuts, along with others from areas safe from the acts, gathered to participate in the march. Jazz funeral marches occur in New Orleans and show how the spirit of joy can be part of grief. Faculty members say they have joy in having colleagues and students supporting them, but the proposed cuts bring forward grief and sadness over the possibility of losing not only departments, but friends and colleagues.
I mean, at every funeral it helps to have relatives come and show their support and their love. I hate to be in the position that we are, at a funeral procession because it does not make sense. It hurts Nebraska.
As they marched through the campus, students in class could be seen waving to them. Coffins of each of the departments slated to be cut were held by faculty members. The decision on these proposed eliminations will take place Friday at the Board of Regents meeting. In crime news tonight, Lincoln police are now investigating after several card skimmers were found on payment machines at 3 different Family Dollar stores across the capital city this week. The investigation started yesterday. Police say surveillance video showed suspects distracting an employee at the store before installing those skimming devices when their backs were turned. This happened at 3 different locations, the one on North 11th, the South 13th store, and the one near 24th and N. Lincoln police say those devices have since been removed, but if you have shopped at any of those locations recently, you should check your accounts for any fraudulent charges. Nobody has been arrested in this case. Switching now to sports, a gut punch today for Omaha native Terence Crawford and many of his fans. According to several reports, the world champ has been stripped of his super middleweight title that he won after beating Canelo Alvarez in September. In a release, the World Boxing Council alleges that Crawford didn't pay his bout fees, which essentially allows him to compete in fights for either of his last 2 matches. The boxing fee for his most recent title match was 0.6% of his earnings from the fight. The WBC says they tried contacting Crawford and his team several times about him not paying, but were ignored. In September, Crawford became the first male boxer in history to capture 3 unified division titles. For more information, be sure to head to our website. Now on to Nebraska football. We got a first glimpse at the next generation of Huskers Wednesday, as early signing day saw almost a dozen players ink their future in Lincoln. Coach Rule says he's excited about the group he's bringing in and that the staff was very particular about who they got.
You know, we've recruited a lot of guys the first couple of years where we have a big roster. We are, a young team, and so it was just, hey, let's be really selective here now in this class. We continue to build the 27 class, which we think will be a special one as well.
Nebraska's early recruiting class includes 1 player from Nebraska, Jace Reynolds of Elkhorn North. Reynolds is ranked among the 100 best linebackers in the country by ESPN. The class is headlined by Danny Odom, a 5-star cornerback out of Florida. Finally tonight, and rounding out your night beat, is a check of the 7-day forecast. We do have a weather alert day for tomorrow morning, as temperatures are expected to drop below 0 for the first time this season, not even factoring in a wind chill. It will be a very chilly one to bundle up early on before temperatures try to rebound to the upper 20s. The end of the work week looking better with highs in the 40s by Friday. And we do have a small chance at a wintry mix on Saturday, looking to be maybe a little bit of snow, especially up in northeast Nebraska, as temperatures slide back into the 20s by the end of the weekend before rebounding closer to average temperatures into early next week.
You've been listening to The Night Beat.
Sponsored by Pella Windows and Doors of Lincoln.
Watch, listen, and stream on the 1011 app on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts.